Alright, let's start. Good evening. For the presentation, I have chosen my topic is Thangka Arts. So the specific purpose for this presentation is to inform just about the form of Thangka Arts, its origin, core values and tradition, and what does it really represent. So can you just imagine how hard it could be to draw something, anything, and especially when it's made in a handmade cotton cloth, you can just imagine how hard that could be. So Thangka Arts, that is really special art. It's mostly represent the Buddhism. It can be used as a tool to educate the young monks about the life of Buddhism. And according to Russell in 1990, he said it was a custom for lay people to commission the creation of sacred images, not only to facilitate their religious artifacts and meditational aids that was used as objects of respect and offering, but also to have thankas painted in times of sickness, troubles, and death of relative ones to achieve a happy rebirth. The happy rebirth, that is the core value of Buddhism. They do really believe in rebirth. So let's talk about the origin and what Thangka art really is. So originally, Thangka arts are known as Hovas, that's a Nepali language. That basically means message from the temple. And originally, the Thangka art was practiced in Nepal and then it got exported to Tibet. It was after the Princess Vrikuti of Nepal was married to Songtsen Gampo. He was a ruler of Tibet back then. And the practice was started by a certain caste group in Nepal. They are known as Chitrakar. That's a Newari community in Nepal. And that is back started in 7th century of CS. That is according to the Powers. He wrote in his journal in 2007. And Thangka art, so now let's discuss about what Thangka art is. That is not just a piece of cloth. It is not just paintings drawn on a piece of cloth. It's about the conveying messages. It was originally drawn as a ritual objects. They usually draw it as a symbol of towards their religion. And they usually draw pictures of gods, mostly Buddhas, or any religious artifacts. So how it's done? Let's discuss about that. So basically they just draw a big figure of Buddha at the center of the piece of clothing and with many small drawings all around it. And they usually leave the eye of Buddha at the end, and the reason to do is they believe the eye holds the key to soul. And so with the purpose of drawing that, the God's eyes are key to someone's soul and they draw eyes at the end so as the soul of the observer can see the pictures when it comes alive. And according to Koti in 2013, the purpose for these paintings are mostly religious and medication for oneself in Eastern or Tibetan culture. But in the Western collection, they use this painting as ethnographic objects or mostly artworks. And Hannah, she described 2018, the paintings, they help to enhance one's understanding of Tibetan Buddhism. There are mostly 3 types of paintings. They are Wheel of Life, Mandala, and Life of Buddha. So these 3 paintings, I'll just shortly describe about what this paintings means. The Wheel of Life, they just mostly describe about the rebirth. And the Mandala, Mandala is literally, that means circle. So it is used for meditation and concentration. While as Life of Buddha, they just basically describe the stages of Buddha from life to death. And the paintings, those must be the utmost beauty, because they take from weeks to months. And a picture from Ming Dynasty was sold for around $1 million in New York at an auction, and which was later sold as 3.6 million. So let's just review about what we know. So the paintings, they were started in Nepal. They were made in cotton cloth, and they could rise up to a couple $millions. And why are Thangka special? Because those are hard to draw. You can just imagine how hard it is to draw just on a piece of cloth, taking weeks to months. And they teach the life of Buddhism, Buddhist lifestyles to peace offerings, to souvenirs. And finally, I would just like to thank everyone to share me about this local art, which is famous in Nepal and Tibetan community. And I hope I gave some new information to everyone. Thank you.